Lesson 82, solving multi-step compound inequalities. Well, what is multi-step? Multi-step means it's more than one step. Compound inequalities means that we're dealing with inequalities that involve the word and or. Those are what compound inequalities are. Our first compound inequality involves the word or. 5x minus 6 is less than 4 or 3x plus 9 is greater than 18. I solve this compound inequality by doing one side at a time. Doesn't matter which side I choose. I'll start with this side. Solving this side, I solve it just as if it were an equation, splitting it at the symbol, identifying the variable, and moving the thing that's not attached to the variable first, which is that negative 6. Opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Those cancel. I'm left with 5x is greater than 10. I then divide both sides by 5. 5 cancels 5 over here, and I get x is less than 2. And then I solve the other side. Same way. Identify the variable. Move the positive 9 first with the negative 9. 3x is greater than 9. Then dividing 3, opposite of multiplication, those things are multiplying. X is greater than 3. How do I graph that? On my number line, I put a 0, 2, and 3. I draw an open circle at 2. X is smaller. This one is bigger. Remember, the mouth is eating the bigger number. So x is smaller, which means the numbers that are over here. 0 is smaller than 2. At 3, we draw a circle. X is bigger than 3. The mouth is eating x this time, so that means we're shading in that direction. Let's take a look at our next example. Our next example is one that has and. We usually do not see the word and in our compound inequalities because we do not translate our compound inequality. We just solve it as it's given to us. This problem starts negative 9 less than or equal to 3x minus 6 plus 4x is less than or equal to 8. What we can do that involves this word and is separate it. We can write this as two different inequalities. And instead of having the word or, it would be the word and. I'll show you how to rewrite it, but we won't be doing this in future. What we do is we set up the first one, negative 9, less than or equal to 3x minus 6 plus 4x. And then we put the word and then we rewrite this whole thing, which is why we don't do it. 3x minus 6 plus 4x is less than or equal to 8. And then we solve this one, and then we solve this one. Well, that's not how we have chosen to do it. We have chosen to be a little bit advanced and do it all at one time. So here we go. How do we solve this compound inequality? We look at the middle term and we combine our like terms, which are 3x and a positive 4x. That combined to get 7x minus 6. 6 just drops down. That minus 6 just drops down. This front term and this back term, they are not affected by this first step. So they're just copied down. I then get to work on solving this inequality. Here's my variable. My 7 is attached, so the negative 6 moves first with a positive 6 to all 3 pieces. That's what we have to remember to do when we're solving this compound inequality as one whole long step. We have to make sure we do it to all 3 parts. As long as you can remember that, then you don't have to solve 2 different equations, and it'll go much faster. Continuing to solve, those cancel, and I have 7x. Over here I have 14. Over here I have negative 3. Finishing this problem, I undo the multiplication by dividing 7. I have to go over here and divide 7, and over here and divide 7. And I'm going to end up with a beautiful fraction. Negative 3 over 7 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. And we have to graph this thing. Isn't that fantastic? Let's go. First, start off with a 0. Where is negative 3/7 on the number line? It's somewhere between 0 and negative 1. More specifically, what we need to do is take this space and chop it into 7 congruent pieces. I do that by drawing 6 lines. That would be 1/7, negative 1/7, negative 2/7, 3/7, 4/7, 5/7, 6/7, and this would be negative 7 over 7. So 1, 2, 3, negative 3/7 would be there. I draw a closed circle at negative 3/7 because of this sign here. And then I find a positive 2. That's 1 and 2. And again, I draw a solid circle. And x is in between those 2 numbers. So x is in between those 2 numbers. Isn't that easy? We're going to do 2 more problems that are really multi-step. One which is or and the other which is and.